this year's Youth Games. And I'm not alone, and joining me in the commentary booth is, of course, none other than the president with a small p of the NASFED Federation here in Namibia, the Namibia Aquatics Sports Federation. That's none other than Riaan Steyn. Good morning, Riaan. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, we are really excited to be here. And as you can see, our 200-meter freestyle has already started.
Yes, definitely. So, of course, going through that lineup is Arina Nokusho, very own Namibian, 18 years old. Kristen Jones is, of course, from Zimbabwe. Grace George is from South Africa. Georgia Ellis in lane 4, somebody to look out for, is, of course, also from South Africa. We've got Tori Deva, she's from Zimbabwe. And we also have Iona Nokusho, she's the sister of Ariana. And we've got Hayley Hoy from Eswatini in lane number 7. Off the bat, we can already see that the likes of Georgia Ellis is pulling away for the South African side there, Riaan.
Yes, yeah, you can see it's actually Georgia Els from South Africa. So, yeah, Georgia is a very good swimmer from South Africa. She's got some South African records. Also being age of 19, as you can note, these swimmers are aged from 14 up to 19. So I know her in lane 6, for example, is 14 years old from Namibia, and she's also a really good swimmer. But yeah, if we go, Kirsten Jones from Zimbabwe, also a very good swimmer. She's also having, I think, a national record there. So, but if just to get some perspective here, Georgia Els from South Africa has got a time of 2 minutes and 5 seconds with 42 splits there. That is her personal best in a short course pool. The world record stands at 1 minute 50 for this event from the women, but that's all ages, so that's not just a junior record. But just to give you some perspective on that.
Georgia Elsa still looks like she's very well on her way there, and building up a considerable lead here, as we can see there on the wide shot, of course, followed by the Zimbabwean in lane number 5, the 17-year-old, of course, in their seeding times, just 4 seconds roundabout splitting the two of them. So there you have it. Of course, Georgia Els already taking that victory in the 200-meter freestyle.
Yeah, right. That is the first heat of the 200-meter freestyle. So we'll get their times now for you that they've been achieving. So as you can see, everybody's finished there. So we're waiting for the second heat to come on.
Now, maybe Riaan, for the viewers at home that might not understand the swimming styles and differences, what is a freestyle in terms of swimming?
Well, freestyle originally, it was actually any style other than your breaststroke, backstroke, or fly. So people used to do any type of style when you swim freestyle, and that's basically an open style. So most freestylers these days are crawling, so that's a crawling style, and yeah, that's basically what the freestyle is.
There you have it, of course, the first heat done and dusted here in Swakopmund in the Cube. If you are in the Swakopmund area, just another look at that replay, of course, just at how Georgia Els walked away with that first victory for the South Africans in heat number 1 of the under 19 200-meter freestyle here for the women.
All right. As you can see, I don't see the results yet. But yeah, Georgia Els, naturally, she's such a good swimmer, very, very experienced as well, being to international events. Yeah, also from the Namibian side, Ariana also experienced, went to various Africa aquatic events. Then we have upcoming Anoa Nokoshu, that swam in lane 6. She's also a junior swimmer, upcoming very good swimmer from Namibia.
And there we have heat 2 as they line up for this second heat. And we're off, of course. It is Santos from Angola in lane number 1. We've got Dos Santos from Namibia in lane number 2. We've got Berg from Namibia as well. Madison in lane number 3. Of course, the one to be looking out for is Jessica from South Africa, the 18-year-old, with a 2 minute and 2 minutes 4 seconds and 69 splits in lane number 4, as well as on her heels would be Catherine Horn from South Africa as well, just a few seconds in their seeding times, split seconds in their seeding times, splitting the two. Alexis Jonas and then Alice, as well as Steyn for Namibia in lane number 8. What can we look forward to in this one, Rian? Of course, this one being the second one, so the tempo has already been set from heat number 1.
Yeah, right. You can see, I mean, the South African competition in this event is quite strong. You know, with two of their top swimmers, you know, in lane 4 and 5, which is Jessica Kamadi and Caitlin Horn. Both of them very, very good swimmers. Then we have Namibia's own Madison Berg, you know, in lane 3, also a good swimmer. And if you look at Alexis Johnson from Zimbabwe, you know, their times are also very good. Then you know, Lilia Ellis from Namibia, also young and upcoming swimmer. She's also really good swimmer. Victoria de Souza from Namibia as well in lane 2. And then we have Reina Espiritu Santo from Angola in lane 1, also an upcoming swimmer, you know, 15 years old, all of these swimmers, except the South African swimmer Jessica Kamadi being 18 and Caitlin Horn as well. So they are the two more experienced swimmers in the pool at the moment, and also with Carissa Steyn from Namibia in lane 8.
We can see there it's actually Caitlin Horn that is pulling away slowly for the South African side there in lane number 5, while Jessica is short on her heels as they come to that victory stop. So it is Jessica that took the victory.
Yeah, right. So Jessica Kamadi, you know, I think she took the challenge and she went for it. We can, if we look at the time, it's 2:08. That's also a very good time. You know, it's not her personal best, but really good time.
Really good time for her, of course. We have seen, as alluded to, Jessica, her seeding time was 2 minutes 4 seconds and 69 splits coming into this competition, and just doesn't manage to keep it at that, but the victory seals the deal for her in heat number 2. Of course, coming up just after this one would be the under-19 men as they take on the 100-meter freestyle in this one. Of course, loads to look forward to there as well. No Namibian representatives from the land of the brave in heat number 1, but we've got a staggering amounts of heats, 5 heats coming up for this one to determine the ultimate spots as we take another look there at just that perfect swimming style shown there by Jessica from South Africa, the 18-year-old, taking it in 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yes, taking it in her stride. You can see she's about a full length ahead of the Namibian swimmer on her left side. Yes, good swimmer, and well done, Jessica.
So Rian, let's talk about that visuals that we just saw there, of course, the camaraderie amongst the swimmers, and what Region 5 means to these youngsters as a stepping stone, if you like. In other sports, we would talk about grassroots level. I'm not sure what you would say about it in swimming terms, but how's it having Region 5 here in Namibia for NASFED?
Well, no, it's fantastic. Obviously, you know, we'll take any chance to compete in any international event, and being the hosts of this magnificent competition is obviously an honor. So we take it, you know, and that's why we could enter a nice team of 23 swimmers at this moment. So that was from Namibia's side, 23 swimmers. So we are really glad having all those swimmers, competing.
In lane number 4, we've got Jaden Williams from South Africa, the 17-year-old. Definitely one to be looking out for. His seeding time is 56 seconds and 89 splits. While we've got Kuvea from Malawi, the 15-year-old, short on his heels with 59 seconds and 54 splits.
Yeah, right. We do have Jaden Williams. South Africa was also a reasonably good time, under 1 minute. The world record in this event is 44 seconds, 44.84 splits. So that is really good. It's held by Carl Chalmers from Australia. So this event, if you look at our this event top times, around 50 seconds. So that is for Africa good times. These international times is only achieved by a few, and these swimmers here compete, within their age groups, are really competitive. So we are from NASFED side also very happy to have good swimmers and also achieving good times within the African context.
Now we see Williams off the bat there already claiming that victory in a very good stride and time there. Of course, this was the 100-meter freestyle heat 1, and quick, fast and off the bat for Jaden Williams in heat number 1. The 17-year-old claims it for South Africa in this time around.
So if you look at a swimmer like from Malawi, 15 years old, Tasumje Mukaiva, he's also one of the swimmers that's on his way to the World Junior Championships in Otopenia, Romania later coming up in 2 months' time. So a lot of these swimmers competing here are all going to the World Junior Championships as well later on in the year.
Just another look there from Jade in good form of the starting blocks, and immediately a whole body's length ahead of the rest of the group, and making sure that he gets off to a good start here at the 11th edition of Region 5 Youth Games. Of course, the 2024th edition hosted by Namibia in both Windhoek and Swakopmund. Of course, if you are in the Swakopmund area, to come down and join us here. We are at the Cube just to the left of the dome, and we will be seeing some more action here with athletics on Monday. And what an historic moment as well, as we've got para-athletes that will be welcomed for the first time in the Region 5 Youth Games. We're all set and ready for heat number 2. And this one, a full heat. Of course, we got Dos Santos from Eswatini, 18 years old, in lane number 1. We've got Ashley from Zimbabwe in lane number 2. We've got Tati from Angola in lane number 3. We've got Prade from in lane number 4. Definitely an athlete to look out for in this race, as well as Estreisen, Namibia's very own 16-year-old, in lane number 5. And they're off and already at the turning point here, so less than 25 meters to go to make sure that they're off this one. Second turn coming around, and the Namibian looks to be in quite a good stance here, Rian.
Yeah, there you can see our Namibian swimmer, Lorenzo Estreisen, is moving quite nicely along. And as you can see, especially when you look at the turns, he's turning first. So that means he's quite a little bit in front. And then I think coming up on him is the Angolan swimmer of Padre in lane 4. Yes, and Lorenzo finishes there with winning the heat.
Good arm's length win there for the likes of Lorenzo Estreisen. The 16-year-old Namibian, his seeding time, of course, was 54 seconds and 92 splits coming into this one. So I think he'll be happy with the start, and that will be, of course, the times, and there's the seeding time. So I think we're just having a little bit of difficulties connecting to the system, and it will shortly be sorted out. And good race there, Riaan, off the bat for the Namibian. I think that's the first victory for the Namibian side in terms of the heats for today's thus far.
Yes, 100%. You know, if you look at the upcoming times, so hopefully on this first heat, the times are a little bit slower than your heats that's coming later. So hopefully Lorenzo will be able to make the finals with that time that we haven't seen yet, but hopefully he'll be making the finals.
And now moving on to heat number 3 of 5, of course. Riaan can allude to us a bit more about in lane number 3, we've got the Zimbabwean that will be quite a fixture to look forward to, Riaan, in these terms.
Yeah, I think he's a Zambian, Malinga Cole, and yeah, he's at the moment also overseas. He's swimming in Ohio. And he's also a World Junior prospect for Zambia.
And just next to him in lane number 4 is the South African Mahan and Vessels from South Africa in lane number 5. And they are the 2 top-seeded swimmers in this heat for the 100-meter freestyle. Off the bat, they're already done with 25 meters, 75 left to go. And it looks like we've got Tumela from South Africa that's already in good spirits and looks like he's making quite the distance, but short on his heels is his, of course, South African counterpart, Guy Vessels, short on his heels and in the chasing.
Yeah, we also have Carl Haynes from Zimbabwe in lane 6, also a very good swimmer. Then we have Namibia's own Nathan Bok, swimming lane 7. There you can see finishing, is Tumelo, also 19 years of age. So you must always remember that these, age groups are. So Tumelo has got a 50 seconds 90 splits time. That is, a little bit slower than his seeding time of 50 seconds 26 splits.
Of course, also heat number 4 to look forward to. 2 more heats in terms of what is happening here in the 100-meter freestyle for the under-19 men. As we alluded to, Region 5 competition live in action here in Swakopmund. So do come around and make a turn. We already have the athletes lining up, and it is Fierus from Namibia that will be in lane number 1. The 15-year-old with a seeding time of 54 seconds and 12 splits. Just next to him is the Mozambican Hugo. Next to him is in lane number 3 is Christian Estreisen from South Africa, the 18-year-old. Of course, the top-seeded athletes for this one in this heat will be Oliver Durant, the Namibian 18-year-old with 50 seconds and 6 splits, while we've got Konata from Botswana on his left-hand side in lane number 5. That will be coming in as the second seeded for this heat. So lane number 4 and 5 closely contested in this one, and we're off.
Yeah, Oliver is our top Namibian swimmer, and he's also been to African Junior Championships. We won a few medals in Egypt earlier this year. Oliver, has got a time of 50 seconds and 6 splits, which is the same than the upcoming time in the heat 5 of Joshua Estreisen, which will be swimming in the next heat. So they've got exactly the same seeding time.
Less than 50 meters now left to go here as they turn around. Point comes and 25 meters left, and it looks like Oliver Durant is still very well in position here, but short on his heels is the Botswanan. The Tswana, it is Konata that is in lane number 5, and it is Durant that seals the deal for Namibia, and he clocks in at 50 seconds and 98 splits.
That's a good time for Oliver. We must always remember that this is just heat. So as long as you qualify for the finals, you will be you will be going to the finals, and that's where they will be setting their best times. So they hold a little bit back normally on the heats, just to conserve energy for the upcoming finals later on.
And we still have one more heat left in this under 19 100 meter freestyle here in Swakopmund in the Cube, and it is a full lane of 8 athletes that will be taking part. We've got 2 Zambians, 3 Zimbabweans, 1 Namibian and 2 South Africans. Of course, the 2 South Africans are currently the top seeded for this event for the next heat, and it is Joshua Esterhuizen, the 18-year-old, and Matthew Pretorius in lane number 4 and 5 respectively, that you'll need to be looking out for, both in the middle there with the green caps for Team South Africa.
Yes, right. I think we need to. There's a few swimmers in this heat that is definitely going to make waves in this competition. So if you look at Joshua Esterhuizen from South Africa, Matthew Pretorius, also South Africa, then Jaden de Swart from Zimbabwe, then we have the Namibian Luke Bekes, which is also a very, very good swimmer, upcoming swimmer. He's a very good 50 and 100 meter swimmer. So let's see what's happening here.
Yeah, Luke Bekes seems to be chasing Joshua Esterhuizen off the bat there, short on his heels. You can see the top 3 there in the center of your shot. So the Namibian on the left-hand side with his 2 South Africans counterparts on his right. So the turning is very close-knit there, but it seems that the likes of Joshua Esterhuizen just still has the edge over the Namibian onto his right-hand side, while his South African counterpart, Matthew Pretorius, on the left-hand side is still playing a chasing game here. But it looks like the Namibian is slowly starting to pull away here, and that's Luke Bekes. Bekes still here with an arm's length. Will he be the first? It seems he is.
Yeah, it looks like Luke has taken this one. Let's just quickly see.
51
to yes, Luke has taken it. Well done, Luke. And then with Joshua second on 50.24 splits, and Matthew Pretorius came in third. Is that correct? Yeah.
I almost felt like we were watching a 100-meter dash there at the athletics track.
So nice, yeah.
Well done to the Namibian Boyki. Luke Bekes taking that one for Namibia in heat number 5 of the men's 100-meter freestyle here at the Cube in Swakopmund. Short on his heels was, of course, the South African top seeder that came into this heat, Joshua Esterhuizen. As we take another look there off the bat, great dive in from all the athletes, as particular the top 3 there in the center of the picture, and close competition at the end of the day with the likes of Luke Bekes sealing the deal for Team Namibia. So we've got...
So like I said, event number 103, women's 19 and under 50 meter butterfly, 4 heats. Heat 1, lane 1, Zoe Rebello, Malawi. 2, Shenolo Nsie, South Africa. 3, Lilia Ellis, Namibia. 4, Marta Mfumo, Mozambique. 5, Matipaishe Gondo, Botswana. 6, Nora Schlavitz, Namibia. 7, Kendra McNamara.
And we're back with the under-19 women's 50-meter butterfly. This one will be as quick as a blink of an eye, as this is a 25-meter pool, so they will be diving in at the start end and move to the turning end, and with the coming back it will be officially completed. The top seeded in this one is, of course, Mpofi from Mozambique, the 16-year-old, clocking in at 31 seconds and 16 splits, while while we have Gondo from Botswana short on her heels, and they're off for the ladies 15-meter butterfly here in Swakopmund. And it looks like those top seededs are, of course, off the bat already giving each other competition, and a tough one at that, Rian.
Yes, no, 100%. If you look at our swimmers, I think it's lane 6, you know, that's looking good for Namibia. And then, yeah, it's at the bottom, lane 6.
Nora looks like she snatched it.
Nora Schlauberts, it looks like she snatched it. Let's look at the results when you see it. Then we also have the Botswana girl. Yes, Nora, 31:45. Yes, it looks like Nora has taken that one.
Yeah, Nora snatched it, and just off the bat, following her short on her heels is Marta Mpofi from Mozambique in lane number 4 with 31 seconds and 93 splits on the board for Mozambique. Just another look at that one if you missed it. As I said, it's a blink of an eye and it is done. Of course, the 50-meter butterfly for the women's at this year's Region 5 Youth Games. At the bottom of your screen here, we see the Namibian Nora clocking in and taking that heat for the Namibian team.
Yeah, that was well done. You know, it's also a very good time for Nora, 31:45. So Nora came in at 32:98. So which is almost more than a second drop for her in a 50. That is a really, really good achievement.
We're off with heat in number 2 now as we gear up. Of course, 2 in 1 Namibian in this heat. Of course, it is Nokoshu that was active in heat number 2 of the women's 200-meter freestyle earlier on. It is the 14-year-old. It's the younger sister of the two. Of course, the top seeded here is Jaden Piri from Zimbabwe, Zambia, pardon me. And Jessica is also back in action for South Africa, already clinched a victory in the 200-meter freestyle. As we see them turning back and in action earlier on is, of course, in lane number 4. It looks like the Zambian Jade Piri leading things off for the bat here and snatching the victory there for Team Zambia.
Oh, well done by Jade there. Yeah, Jade is also the president of Zambia Aquatic Sports Federation as president, Guy. So well done, Jade. Jade is also a very experienced swimmer, 19 years old, very good swimmer.
Very good swimmer indeed, and she did clock in the 28 seconds and 43 splits, coming in and taking that one from Jessica, just behind her on 29 seconds and 75 splits at the end, Rian.
Yeah, right. You know, Jessica obviously is also one of Namibia's good swimmers, top swimmer. Also went to Africa Junior Championships in Egypt earlier this year, brought home a few medals, and also went to going to the Junior Champs, World Champs in Otepenia later on this year. So Jessica, one of Namibia's very good swimmers. Then we also had the swimmer of Zambia, Jade, you know, doing well there.
As we get ready for heat number 3 here, and they're off the start. Of course, the top seeded in this one is De Villiers. It is South African's 18-year-old with 27 seconds and 41 splits. Well, we got Jessica Humphreys for Namibia that went to the juniors there. It's a 17-year-old, 28. And they're already quick back, and it looks like the South African De Villiers is in the lead there with Jessica Humphreys short on her heels. And unfortunately for the Namibian fans here in the queue, it is the South African that snatches this heat and clocks in a good time.
Yeah, I think Indiana De Villiers is a good swimmer from South Africa as well. You know, Jessica Humphrey, which I talked a bit earlier on when I was talking about the two swimmers. So Jessica, also a Namibian top swimmer. She, will be going to Worlds Juniors later on this year.
As we see the De Villiers just coming in at 27 seconds and 75 splits, followed by Jessica Shorten on heels with 28 seconds and 40 splits. Just another look at that. Perfect entry by all the swimmers there, and off the bat you can see the likes of De Villiers taking that one. 18 years old and makes a mark here at the Region 5 Youth Games in Swakopmund.
Yeah, as you know, the swimmers, this is 25 meters is a very special event. 25-meter pool, because you do a lot of underwater work. You can do underwater work for 15 meters within this pool, meaning that you can only swim, if you're good enough in underwater work for 10 meters.
We've got Georgia Ellis in this heat number 4 of the 50-meter butterfly. She already snatched a victory in the heat number 1 of the 200-meter freestyle, and short on her heels will be Van As from Zimbabwe on 27 seconds and 88 splits. And off the bat, we can already see Georgia Ellis making a mark on it and racing very quickly. Georgia Ellis. And Georgia is still in the lead here. Short on her heels is the Zimbabwean Van As, and it is Georgia Ellis that takes this heat in heat number 4.
Yeah, if you look at lane 6, also Namibia, Rosalinda Matai, also good swim from her there. Hoping also to get her into the finals there.
That will conclude the ladies 50-meter butterfly. As I said earlier on, if you blink, you're going to miss it, and it is unfortunate that if you didn't catch it, you just missed it. And just another look at it, it's Els that snatches heat number 4 of the ladies 50-meter butterfly, and just short on her heels is Van As from Zimbabwe in lane number 5. So we're off to the men's 50-meter butterfly as well now, or breaststroke, pardon me, as they will be in action. 3 heats coming in this one, and off the bat we'll have 2 Namibians featuring here, Tristan and Nel and Liam for Team Namibia, both 17 years old, and they will be up against Matthews from Botswana and Swartz from Zimbabwe as the top seeded athletes. And we're off the bat here, and it is straight into the pool, and it looks like Matthews is gaining quite a bit of momentum in lane number 4 for Team Botswana, pardon me. A good body's length the difference between the likes of Matthews and the Swartz in lane number 4 and 5, as we see Matthews snatching heat number 1 for Team Botswana.
A great swim from Matthews from Botswana, 19 years old. Then we also had Jaden de Swart from Zimbabwe just swimming alongside him. So good swims from both of these swimmers.
Yeah, we see Matthews taking that one on 28 seconds and 41 splits, followed by the likes of Jaden de Swart from Team Zimbabwe in 30 seconds and 98 splits. Just another look at that on your screen is, of course, the Botswanan athlete Matthews straight off that dive into first position and didn't take the gas off the pedal.
Yeah, so you can see the Matthews, also that was also a personal best for Matthews from Botswana, with almost a second drop on that, more than a second drop. So a very good swim for Matthews.
In your shot, of course, the Namibian for Team Namibia here in heat number 2. We've got the top seeded is Pretorius and Vimba from South Africa and Zimbabwe respectively in lane number 4 and 5. And off the bat, we can see the likes of Pretorius taking the lead. Matthew Pretorius, and on his heels, as we said, as Kiana Vimba from Zimbabwe, the 18-year-old. quick and fast in this one. Of course, less than 10 meters left to dash for this one in the 150 meter breaststroke for the men, and it is the South African that takes it. Matthew Pretorius snatches that one for Team South Africa.
Just here we had in line 1 local boykie Jörn Bugert from Swakopmund, swimming for Namibia. So Jörn also did a personal best there with 32.87 from dropping from 33. A good swim there for Jörn as well. So we also had Michael Bauernschmidt there from Namibia in that swim.
Now, Riaan, I'm going to ask you, how important is it, you're talking about personal best, for an athlete to come here in lane number 8 or lane number 1 and really just try and work on the small boxes that need to be ticked, like working on your personal best? How important is that for an athlete at these youth games?
Well, you know, firstly, competing at these games, you know, is already a feat accomplished. So if you come in with your time, naturally you're going to swim against stronger swimmers than you in most cases, and you know that also inspire you to be able to achieve a personal best. Now, personal best is a huge achievement for most swimmers, if especially at a later age when it's difficult to improve on your older times. So yes, personal bests, when you achieve it in a competition like this, is almost like winning a medal.
And we're off to heat number 3. In lane number 4 is Moyo from Zambia, the 19-year-old, as the top-seeded athlete coming into this race. And De Souza in lane number 5 is Damien De Souza from Eswatini. And off the bat there you can see with the white cap in center in lane number 4, it is Moyo from Team Zambia that is taking the lead. And a good turn there by him, and he's off. But it is on his left-hand side in lane number 3 that it is Jaden Williams that is catching up quickly, and it is Moyo that seals the deal for Team Zambia.
Yeah, right. We had DJ Armstrong from Namibia there, and also Nathan Bok, Namibia. Then, you know, good swimmer there is also Damien De Souza from Eswatini, which with Jaden Williams in lane 3, that was from South Africa.
Good swim there, and of course Pretorius swimming in the previous heat fell short in heat number 5 of the men's 500 freestyle, but made a comeback in that breaststroke. And Riaan, maybe for somebody at home that might be watching and wondering, these styles, how different are they really in terms of execution when it gets to, for example, the freestyle and the breaststroke for Matthew to move on from maybe coming third in the freestyle, but actually taking the breaststroke in this heat?
Well, you know, each swimmer has got his own speciality, his or her own speciality in terms of what they like, and what they are the best in. So you have mostly, you know, your breaststroke swimmers that's actually a stroke that you would really like to be good at, because that's one of the strokes that helps you in your individual medley event. So basically, then you have your short distance specialist, your longer distance specialist. So in the pool you go up to 1,500 meters, which is a long distance in the pool. And then so most of your sprinters, 50 and 100 meter sprinters, are specialists in that instance. But then you get your longest swimmers that swims longer distances as well. So you do have some swimmers, you know, that can compete in all these events, in all the strokes, and are good in all of them. But you know, that's not a lot of them are like that.
And we are off in terms of the 100-meter breaststroke for the ladies, and just 3 athletes in heat number 1. Eswatini, it's Mamara, and then of course Snabel from Namibia, and Mzengo from Malawi. And
so can I help you with that pronunciation?
Yes, please.
So in lane 4 we have Sandra Schnebel from Namibia. So that's German pronunciation. Yes,
Never.
correct. As you can see, Zandra is there also taking the lead in this heat.
And short on her heels to her right side is the 14-year-old from Eswatini, but it looks like Zandra is still very well in the lead, and looks like she might be taking this one for Team Namibia in heat number 1. Of course, 3 heats left in this one, and it is Zandra that takes that or close to taking that one. Of course, coming back for the last 50 meters of this race, Rian.
Yeah, so basically you can see, you know, these 2 14-year-olds and a 15-year-old in this race, in this heat, meaning that, you know, they're actually competing in their age group. If you look at this heat, you know, competing against 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds for this age group is really tough. So you have to be really good, you know, in order to get the times that these older swimmers can get. So yes, good swim for Zandra here. If you see lane 3 Kendra McNamara from Eswatini, as well as Renaya Mzengo from Malawi. So these younger swimmers, you know, they swim at these events, you know, to get the experience. If they qualify to swim at these events, I mean, it's already an achievement. Getting to swim here is another, you know, bonus for them. And then if they can get a personal best, for them it's also good. So if you look at Zandra's time here, it was a little bit too quick for us. But yeah, Zandra's time, if I had a quick peek there, was 1:27, which is definitely a drop on a time of 1:30.
And as we prepare, as we see the athletes lining up for heat number 2, of course, Kristen Jones from Zimbabwe, the 15-year-old, making her way back. She was previously in action in the women's 200-meter freestyle in heat number 1, and unfortunately did not clock in there. We also have in the top seeded for this heat, of course, in lane number 4 is Johanna from Zambia. She is in with 1 minute and 15 seconds and 76 splits, while we've got Worsfold from Zambia in 1 minute 17 seconds and 2 splits.
I think that's
Zimbabwe, pardon me.
That's all right. We also have Namibian swimmers, Ariana Nakoshu in lane 3, as well as Victoria de Souza in lane 6. So these swimmers are also very good juniors, competing, you know, both of them in Angola earlier, just last month, also bringing home medals from the Angola Championships here.
As we see the off the start, and it is in lane number 4, Johanna from Team Zambia that's leading things here, the 19-year-old, of course, being one of the more older competitors in this heat, while we've got the 2 15 years olds as well in De Souza and Jones from Namibia and Zim, respectively, as they come around for the second turn at the starting end of the pool and making the way back. Now, Rian, some people might be asking, normally these swimming competitions take place in a 50-meter pool. Why is it the case that it is being raced in Swakop in particular, at this 25-meter pool in particular?
All right. The main reason being that it's winter time. Windhoek, the 50-meter pool in Windhoek is not heated and it's open. So that's the main reason being that we are not competing in a 50-meter pool, you know, in this competition.
And there you see, of course, heat number 2 going to the Zambian team as Johanna takes that one and clocks in for Team Zambia. It's 1 minute 15 seconds and 76 splits for Team Zambia.
All right, I think that times was not the final time, so that was only the C times that we saw. So because I was thinking that Ariana did the exact
replica
of her best time. So well, you get that actually a lot where you equal your personal best. So that is not necessarily. We're not unfamiliar with that type of
Now, Rian, as we look at that replay, we can prepare for, of course, heat number 3 of 4 in this 100-meter breaststroke for the ladies. Who are some names that are standing out for you in heat number 3?
Well, if we look at, I think I was just speaking to the Angolan coach. He was mentioning to me that this Kenanese Vongu is going also to Junior Worlds. So we have one of the Angolan swimmers in this upcoming heat that will be going to the Junior Worlds. So we have also one of our junior swimmers, Lilia Ellis, in this upcoming heat, with obviously Morgan Cope from South Africa being a really good swimmer, also a very well-known swimmer. Caitlin Dubé from South Africa, upcoming swimmer, also a very good swimmer. Then we have Melody Salashendo from Botswana, a good swimmer coming up. And Caitlin Horn, which is obviously a household name in South Africa. Caitlin is a very good all-rounder swimmer. She also swam in the 200-meter freestyle earlier, and also a good longer distance swimmer. Yes, I think this is also going to be a really nice heat.
A very nice heat indeed. As we said, Cope as the top seeded athlete in this race, the 19-year-old South African clocking in at 1 minute 8 seconds and 21 splits, followed by Kathleen from South Africa, a South African counterpart with 1 minute 16 seconds and 93 splits. That is lane 4 and 5, as we just prepare for those athletes, or wait for those athletes to be in action. Now, Rian,
so
Team
you
Namibia.
see Lilia Ellis from Namibia, a young swimmer.
I wanted to ask, in what club does she participate for in Team Namibia?
Lilia is from the Dolphins Club in Windhoek.
Team Dolphins, a shout out there from the Cube here in Swakopmund. Of course, a lot of the fans tuning in and joining us in this broadcast. There you have the flags of all the beautiful countries that are represented at these youth games, Region 5 youth games, of course, the 11th edition of these youth games. Namibia hosting this event 20 years back in the 2nd edition ever. And in 2006, and what a momentous occasion. We had the opening ceremony taking place yesterday, last night in Windhoek. We've also seen some action from beach volleyball of day 1, and today beach volleyball comes to an end. So if you're in the Windhoek vicinity, make sure you go make a turn that side as well. The Windhoek vicinity, of course, at DTS for the beach volleyball. There's some football action, COSAFA Cup happening at both the UNAMS fields as well as the Hage Geingob Stadium in Windhoek. We also have some karate happening today at the showgrounds in Marua Hall, so make sure that you do go through there as well, and loads of action still to come here in Swakop in particular. If you are in the Rongo region, apart from the swimming for the next 4 days, there will also be athletics kick-starting on Monday as we're ready to set off for this heat, as heat number 3 is ready for 100-meter breaststroke in the ladies. And they are off, and it looks like Cope in lane number 4 with the green cap is well representing Team South Africa. The 19-year-old clocks in at a time of 1 minute 8 seconds and 21 splits. So we'll need to keep a close eye on her, as we already see a whole body's length of her being in front of her counterparts in lane number 5, Caitlin, the 16-year-old.
All right, so if you look at the world records in this event, the 100-meter breaststroke short course, world record stands at 104.13 splits, with the junior world record at 104.35 splits. So there's not a lot of difference between those two. So if you look at our top swimmers in this event, clocking in Georgia Els with 107.97. So she's coming up in the next heat. Right, if you look at our swimmers here, Lilia Ellis, Namibia, so there you have in lane 4 Morgan Cope finishing from South Africa.
The South African claiming that one, another victory for Team South Africa in the heats, and it's a good race there by the South African, and just setting the standards and opening her campaign here at Region 5 Youth Games in Namibia. Up next in the next heat, as Riaan mentioned, just another look there at Cope and her victory, Morgan Cope, just over in heat number 3. But moving on to heat number 4, we also have some Namibian athletes in Steyn and Nora that will be in action for Team Namibia. Riaan, more on those two athletes for Team Namibia.
Well, yeah. Sorry about that. Yes, Carissa, is also one of the older swimmers in Namibia. Also being a longer distance swimmer. She's already performed in Africa Junior Championships in Mauritius earlier, or in 2023, sorry. And then Nora, 16-year-old, also upcoming good swimmer. She's, as you can see, as you saw in the previous event, Nora did really well in that event, coming first in the heat.
And they are off, and it's Georgia Els to look forward to here, already having 2 victories in 2 different styles here this morning, in both the freestyle, 200-meter freestyle, and of course the 50-meter butterfly as well for the ladies. So Georgia well representing the likes of South Africa at this event, and already off to a good start with a whole body's length ahead of her competitors here in this 100-meter breaststroke.
Yeah, right. Georgia is a really good swimmer. She's, also represented South Africa in various international events. Georgia, also being 19 years of age, I think this is the last time that she can participate in the youth games as well. So I think she has to put a stamp onto this event.
Definitely trying to put a stamp on this event. If you look at the distance she's covering in this one, of course, on her right-hand side, in lane number 5 is Miti from Zambia, the 15-year-old that's putting up quite a fight, but it is Els that seals the deal for Team South Africa, taking her 3rd victory or heat victory for Team South Africa at this morning's session in Swakopmund.
Oh, right. It's these swimmers all, train so hard, just, for this one event, and to compete, and then also, hopefully making the finals.
Hopefully making the finals indeed. Now that concludes the breaststroke for the ladies 100 meter, and we see Els clocking in there at 1 minute 10 seconds and 82 splits for Georgia Els.
Right, yeah, Georgia Els, not doing a PB here, but if you look quickly, let's see if there was anyone. There was a bit of a slower heat. I don't think there was, except if we look at Botswana, Yoon Seo Chang from Botswana. She definitely did a personal best. If you look at her seat time of 1:18, she did a 1:15. So well done there to Chang from Botswana.
Chang coming in with a personal best there, taking off 3 seconds and 63 splits at the end of the day from her seeding time coming into that event. So now we do move on to the men's 100 meter breaststroke. Of course, it will be consisting out of 3 heats here in Swakopmund, and one Namibian in action, and he has already claimed a victory to the backstroke. Pardon me, it is the likes of Lorenzo Esterhuizen that will be in action in lane number 5 for Team Namibia. He'll go up against the likes of Joshua Esterhuizen, not related, and the breaststroke, backstroke does start in the pool, Riaan.
Yes, 100%. So Lorenzo is also one of our good upcoming swimmers. Joshua Esterhuizen from South Africa, very good time there, 55.78. If you look at the next heat, top time 55.52, 55.23. So there's certainly something in this heat that's also we can look forward at having some of these swimmers in the finals.
As we see lane number 4 and 5 closely contested there by the two Esterházens, not related at all, one in South Africa and one in Namibia, as they almost turn simultaneously, with Joshua Esterházen from South Africa still very much in the lead and just finding a bit of an edge now on the Namibian Lorenzo Esterházen. And still looking good for the Team South Africa, as Riaan mentioned, that he has a very good seeding time coming into this heat. So he will definitely be clocking this one and be happy with his form. But good effort here by Lorenzo Esterházen from Namibia, short on his heels, but it goes to the South African. Joshua Esterházen claims this one.
Yes, right. So we don't have the full times here yet, so we'll be waiting for that. But yes, certainly a good swim from Joshua Esterházen, and with coming in with a seeding time of 55.78. So Joshua has got 56.54, which is a little bit slower than his seed time, but also a very good time. Lorenzo actually has got a personal best day of 57, which is achievement for him. Very good time, Lorenzo, in 57 seconds.
Konota also from Botswana clocked in with made it actually his best time as well by clocking in under a minute, and he secures 3 seconds less than his original seeding time. So good effort there by the Botswana athlete in lane number 6 as well. We also have in lane number 2 was Cole from Zambia, that will also be going to the World Champs later, with the Junior World Champs, that also made his personal best, of course taking off a whole 3 seconds and 29 splits off his original time.
Right, yeah, so looking forward to the next heat, where we also have Namibia's Michael Bauernschmidt competing there. Michael is also the Namibian captain of the team, so yeah, so let's see what Michael is doing.
No pressure on Michael as the captain, but everyone's watching him now. And we've got the top seeded is Lance and the likes of Koi from Mozambique in lane number 4 and 5 respectively, as we see Lance from South Africa slowly but surely pulling away from here, with Michael from Namibia being in lane number 6.
Yeah, right. So Lance Kromot is also one of South Africa's good swimmers. In the backstroke as well. If you look at Guy Wessels, just alongside with him in lane 3, also a very good swimmer.
Good strokes there by Lance as he pulls away even further, the 18-year-old from South Africa, and what a statement he's making in this backstroke, 100-meter backstroke for Team South Africa, as they finish and complete, and that's of course heat number 2 in this event.
Well done to Lance for taking this heat, and we'll probably see the times just now to see what the other swimmers have done.
Of course, coming up in heat number 2 as we, or heat number 3, as we take another look at that action from heat number 2 is of course Lance just taking that one and making sure that he bags it for Team South Africa, with of course Namibia's very own Michael also being in action, team captain in lane number 6 for heat number 2. Coming up in heat number 3 is of course 4 Namibians that will be in action. So Riaan, I will be roping you in here. We've got Bok, Beekers, Durant and Liam that will be in action for Team Namibia. But the top seeded athlete for this one will be Christian Esterházен the 18-year-old from South Africa in lane number 4.
Yeah, I think there's some excitement here. If you look at these swimmers, top swimmers in the juniors in this region. So Luke Beekes from Namibia, Christian Esterhuizen South Africa, and Oliver Durant. Those 3 lanes, lane 3, 4, and 5. I think we can definitely look at something there. Then obviously we have a lot of Namibian swimmers in this heat. Lane 2, Nathan Bok. Lane 7, Liam Kinnett. All good swimmers. So let's see the action here.
Luke Beekes in lane number 3 already has snatched a victory earlier on today, and he'll be looking to make that a double as he takes on this one, of course, that one being in the 100-meter freestyle earlier today. So now let's keep an eye out, but it does look like he's slowly fading away there as we see the likes of Christian and Oliver Durant actually going head on head here in the 2 lanes, with Durant actually looking like he has a bit of a lead there over the likes of Esterhuizen in lane number 4. Of course, a mere splitting these two at the end of the day, 55-28 splits for the likes of Esterhuizen, while you've got Durant clocking in at 55-87, 83 coming into this competition, and it looks like Durant from Namibia snatches this one and takes heat number 3 in the men's 100-meter backstroke for Team Namibia.
Yeah, you can see Oliver did really well here. That was a good swim from him. We'll see the times now. I think that was quite a good swim from him.
Very, very quick heat there by these boys, of course, in the 100-meter backstroke. As we take another look at just some of that action, we can see the Christian Esterhuizen actually going up really nicely there, and but it is Oliver Durant. Oliver Durant actually had a quick first turnaround at turn 1, and it seems that gave him just a bit of an edge. And there you still had Christian Esterhuizen that was still in the lead, but seals the deal is Oliver Durant for Team Namibia at the end of this heat.
Yeah, you can see, when they turn, especially on backstroke, so you're quite fast under the water, so you can see they stay under the water for a long time. And especially if you look at the lane ropes that you can see nicely now, there's these 2 red marks on the lane ropes, which is the 15-meter mark, and that is where they can stay underwater for that time. So basically, or for that distance. So basically, you can swim 50 meters underwater and then 10 meters, as I said earlier. So that red marks on the lane ropes, that demarcates, where the swimmers must come up from the turn. If they don't, they will be disqualified.
Sounds rough out here, but that concludes, of course, session 1 for today's action here in the morning for day 1 of the swimming event. Just another look at some of the action that we saw earlier on today. Of course, loads of action already played or taken through. We had the 200-meter freestyle where we had Georgia Elves taking that victory, followed by Jessica, 2 Team South Africans taking the 200-meter freestyle wins in their respective heats. We had Jaden Williams, Lorenzo Esterhuizen, Muhana, and Durant taking the victories in the men's 100-meter freestyle, as well as Luke Beekes from Namibia. In the 50-meter butterfly, we had the women's 50-meter butterfly, we had Nora from Namibia sealing the deal there, while we had Jade Piri from Team Zambia in heat number 2, and of course the Villiers in heat number 3 for Team South Africa, the 18-year-old, and Alice scoring her second win for today in heat number 4 for the 50-meter butterfly. In the 50-meter breaststroke for the men, we had Matthews from Team Botswana. We had Matthews from Matthew Pretorius from South Africa in heat number 2, and we had Moyo from Zambia in heat number 3. Of course, also concluding with the breaststroke for the ladies for this morning session was Team Namibia, Sandra taking the first heat, followed by Johanna in heat number 2, and Morgan Cope in heat number 3, and Georgia Elves in heat number 4. And then of course the action that we just had on our screen, the men's backstroke for this morning session, taken by Esterhuizen, and that victory goes to him, while we had Lance and Oliver Durant taking heat 2 and 3 respectively, to bring an end to this morning session of day 1. Good morning session, Riaan, to start off the opening day here for the 11th edition of the Region 5 Youth Games hosted in Windhoek at Swakopmund.
Yes, 100%. It was exciting morning already, with some nice PBs being attained as well, and also some swimmers that came forth, and surprised us. So I think it's going to be a very, very nice, exciting finals. So the viewers must also remember that the finals will now also entail the relays, which is exciting to watch.
So what you're saying is they need to tune in again later. Is that what you're saying? They need to come watch that action.
I think that's a given. They need to do that. They will have some exciting TV to watch.
There you have it, of course, Namibia, and to our regional viewers watching across all the platforms that we have available for you. Make sure that you do tune in and come watch those finals, and especially those relays. It's always a crowd pleaser and such a good watch to see the teams going head to head and making sure that they best represent their countries. Now, Riaan, what can we still look forward to across the 4 days? What are some of your favorite activities when it gets to the Region 5, on or in the pool and out the pool, if you like?
Well, it's fortunately we'll be finished the 8th, so after then, we'll be able to go and watch all the other events and just go around, and see what's happening. So we'll obviously travel back to Windhoek and go and see what's going on there with all the other exciting events. I mean, there's so many, karate and table tennis and all these little events, that you can go and watch. So I think it's really exciting, to have the Region 5 games here. But yeah, all in all, in the pool, I think we are privileged, to be part of Region 5 games. Although everybody's thinking that swimming was actually not supposed to be part of this games, since it was taken out at one stage, and then as Namibia, as a country, when we became the host, we were nominated as a host. I think we took over from I think it was Mozambique that was supposed to host, and we took over from that in a very short time. Then the host country can actually also select a few sport codes that they would like to be included in the Region 5 event. So that was why swimming was again included. So hopefully the regional organizing committee of Region 5 will listen to this podcast, and they will also then decide to put swimming back as a normal event within the Region 5 Games.
Thank you so much, Riaan, for session 1. Of course, that concludes the morning session here in Swakopmund of day 1 swimming activities for now. We will be back at around 5 o'clock to give you session 2, as Riaan earlier stated on. It's the finals and relay action. It's something that you do not want to miss. Of course, these are always the highlights of the games, and make sure that you come join us here at the Cube, or tune into our YouTube channel. Otherwise, if you do find yourself in the comfort of your home, we are live on MBC2. Stay tuned for some football action, karate action, and loads more, as the Region 5 games are here and we are owning the moment.
Very